We all know his words. We know his miracles and his sacrifice. But what if I told you that in the deepest archives of Rome, among the bureaucratic reports of the governors of Judea, there may be a document that describes the one thing the Gospels left shrouded in mystery, his physical appearance? While the apostles were focused on the message, Roman power was obsessed with the man, a man capable of moving crowds with a single glance. There is said to be a letter, an official report sent to the Senate of Rome by a certain Publius Lentulus, a predecessor of Pontius Pilate. In those lines, we do not find theology, but physical features, the color of his hair, the depth of his eyes. It is what we might call the official portrait of Jesus. But why was this document kept in the shadows, and what happens when we compare this ancient description with the Holy Shroud? What we are about to read could forever change the way you picture the Savior in your prayers. And we will uncover one final detail, a warning from Lentulus that is said to have made the senators of that time tremble. Who was Publius Lentulus? To understand the value of this document, we have to go back to Jerusalem in the year 30. Rome did not rule only with swords, but with information. Every agitator, every potential leader was identified and recorded. Lentulus was a high-ranking official, a man accustomed to the coldness of the law. He was not a disciple. He was not seeking salvation. He was seeking order. And yet, in his report, his Roman precision seems to give way to astonishment. And here is the first point that will leave you speechless. Lentulus describes Jesus not as a common carpenter, but as a man of tall and noble stature. But there is a problem. Many modern historians call it a forgery. They say this text appeared centuries later. And yet, if it is a forgery, how did its author describe physical details that seem to match discoveries made only within the last 100 years? In a moment, we will look at the exact description of the hair, and you will understand why so many believe Lentulus may truly have looked Jesus in the eyes. Now let us enter the heart of the report. Lentulus writes, "In these days there has appeared a man of great virtue called Jesus Christ. The people call him a prophet of truth, but his disciples call him the Son of God." The document does not begin with religious praise. It begins with cold, bureaucratic language. Lentulus simply calls him a man of great virtue, a typically Roman expression for someone marked by dignity. Then the portrait begins. He says that his hair is the color of ripe hazelnut or mature walnut, a golden chestnut shade straight down to the ears, but then falling in shining curls upon his shoulders. He describes a part in the middle, according to the custom of the Nazarenes. Let us pause for a moment. In the 1st century, Roman fashion was completely different. Jews generally wore their hair shorter for hygienic and religious reasons. But Lentulus notes a part in the middle, according to the custom of the Nazarenes. At that time, this term did not indicate only someone from Nazareth, but also a specific consecration to God. Lentulus notices a detail that today we recognize as central to tradition. He says that his forehead is broad and serene, and that his face is without wrinkles or blemishes. But this is where the report becomes almost mystical. Lentulus speaks of the beard. He says it is the same color as the hair, not very long, but forked. Remember that word, forked. We will encounter it again shortly in an object you all know, and the coincidence may send chills down your spine. Now we come to the point that has most puzzled translators through the centuries. Lentulus writes, "His eyes are variable and bright." He uses the phrase variis et claris, but what does that mean? In some translations from ancient Latin, this suggests eyes that seem to change color depending on the light, or eyes that reflect the state of mind of the one looking at him. Lentulus adds an astonishing psychological detail for a Roman official. He says that Jesus was terrible in rebuke, yet gentle and lovable in admonition. He says that he was never seen laughing, but was often seen weeping, Think about that. A Roman officer, accustomed to the brutality of arenas and executions, so struck by the dignity of this man that he included it in an official report to the Senate. But the question remains, why did Rome feel the need to describe his tears? In the Gospels, we know that Jesus wept for Lazarus and for Jerusalem. The fact that a Roman official would notice this deep capacity for compassion tells us that Jesus did not go unnoticed. His was not a statue-like beauty. It was a beauty that wounded the soul of those who looked at him. Now we step into the territory of mystery. If we take Lentulus's description, chestnut brown hair, a forked beard, tall stature, a noble and serious face, and place it side by side with the Holy Shroud, the image in Turin, what do we find? The resemblance appears almost complete. The man of the shroud has a beard divided into 2 points. He has long hair with a central part. He has an imposing height, around 5 feet 11 inches, extraordinarily tall for that era. Now think about this. If the document of Lentulus were a medieval forgery, as many claim, how could its author have known details that are associated with the shroud, if the shroud became the subject of scientific study only in the 20th century? Some suggest that Lentulus may have seen Jesus with his own eyes, or perhaps had access to one of the earliest akeiropoietos images, that is, images not made by human hands. But the report contains another line, an observation about his voice that opens an entirely new mystery. Try to imagine the scene. Jerusalem is in chaos, political factions are fighting, Roman soldiers stand watch on every corner. And in the middle of all this, there is a man who speaks little, yet whose voice carries such weight that it is reported all the way to the halls of Roman power. At this point in the video, we must ask, what is the truth? If this report is authentic, then we may be holding evidence that Jesus was not merely a wandering preacher, but a presence that commanded respect even from his most cynical enemies. But be careful, because now we must face the controversial part, the part scholars use to dismantle the whole thing. And the answer I am about to give you may surprise you. We must be honest. As Christians, we seek truth, not fairy tales. Most historians place the first appearance of this letter in the 15th century. They say it was a pious forgery, created to provide a historical basis for the images artists were painting. But here is the twist. Many ancient texts were copied for centuries. Is it possible that the 15th century document was itself a copy of a 5th century text, which in turn was a copy of a lost Roman original? One version of this document was reportedly found in an ancient manuscript in the library of a Roman noble family, the Cesarini, who claimed to have preserved it for generations. There is also something in the Latin that does not entirely fit the medieval period. Some terms seem closer to the language of 1st century imperial administration. If it were a forgery, it would have to be one of the most perfect forgeries in history, capable of anticipating even later forensic insights. But do you know what truly matters? It is not whether the parchment itself comes from the 1st century, but that the description it contains is exactly the one the hearts of millions of believers have recognized for 2,000 years. It is the face the saints saw in their visions. But why are we still here today talking about the physical appearance of Jesus? Because ours is an incarnational faith. God did not remain an abstract idea in the heavens. He became flesh. He had a color to his eyes, a way of walking, a way of looking at Lentulus, Pilate, and each one of us. The report of Lentulus, whether authentic or not, reminds us that Jesus was seen. He was touched. He shed real tears that a Roman official felt compelled to describe to his superiors because he did not know how else to explain what he had witnessed. Look at that face. Imagine those variable eyes now looking upon your life, your suffering, and your hopes. You are not alone. The one who walked the roads of Judea still walks beside you today. We have reached the end of this journey through time. We have seen how even the cold power of Rome was struck by the presence of Christ. Whether it was truly Publius Lentulus or a copying monk centuries later, the purpose of this text was one and the same: to make sure we never forget that God has a face. And that face is love. Before I say goodbye, I want to ask you to do one thing. This channel lives through your faith and your participation. If this video helped you feel Jesus closer, share it with someone who needs to rediscover hope. I want to close with the phrase "I promised you," a phrase I would love for each of you to write in the comments. It is not just a comment. It is a way of telling the world that we recognize that face and that guidance. Write in the comments, "Lord, show your face to those who seek you and bring peace to my heart." We will read every one of your comments and we will pray for your intentions. May God bless us all.